Ho, ho, ho! It is Christmas time, folks, and either you are desperately trying to find a PlayStation 5, or you may already have a PS5, and you are now just looking for an accessory to go with that PS5 for Christmas time. And so the good news is that there has not been much time since launch, and so third market developers and manufacturers haven't flooded the market with these type of accessories. Now, just because there are relatively few of these accessories out there doesn't mean you should just willy-nilly buy them, because just because a lot of them are developed and have the Sony stamp on them doesn't mean they're great quality or they're even really worth buying. And that is why we are here today. We're going to cover all the accessories. We're going to talk whether it's worth buying them, and let's get started by talking about the Pulse 3D wireless headset. Retailing for $100, we have this Pulse 3D headset that actually does some cool things. It is wireless and emits 3D audio, which, unless you have a VR headset, you probably don't fully understand how important this can be to the gaming experience. However, the $100 price tag is a big obstacle for me. So don't get me wrong, the Pulse 3D headset does a good job. It has great performance, it's wireless, it does 3D audio. But my big issue is the fact that I also have a Rigs for VR headset that also is comfortable and also has a mic and also has 3D audio. And the only difference is that it's aesthetically different and it has a cord. So unless that wireless capability is worth $40 or $50 to you, which the rigs for VR is $40 or $50 cheaper than the Pulse 3D headset, and I know there are other headsets that have 3D audio capability. Maybe some of those are wireless. You could check that out. But to me, that wireless capability isn't worth $40 or $50 when you could just plug your headset into the controller that you already have in your hands. So it's not preventing you from doing anything. And because the Pulse 3D headset doesn't have a boost in performance, because it doesn't really have any other features other than the wireless capability, and because it's $100, I'm going to have to give this a pretty hard pass in terms of gifts that can be put under the Christmas tree. So that one's a pass for me. But now let's talk about the Platestation, or Customize My Plates PS5 panel stickers. This is a very sad yet kind of confusing story. So the short version is that the original company called Platestation came out with PS5 panels before the PS5 even launched. Then, of course, they got hit by Sony illegally, so they backed out of that. They had to change their name to Customize My Plates, and that's kind of where it gets weird. Now they sell these vinyl stickers that you can put on the panels of the PS5 to change their appearance. So me and Alex were in discussion of actually purchasing some of the panels from PlayStation to, just change the aesthetics of the PS5. Everything went smoothly. We had an open dialogue with the people. It was fantastic. And then once they changed the name to Customize My Plates, things kind of got weird because we're not really able to contact them anymore. The person that we were in contact with kind of just dropped us. We haven't heard back. Now, we haven't lost any money, so that's fine. We got our money back, all that good jazz. But it was just a little odd that, I don't know, it just seemed a little unnerving. And then I've never seen a product. I've only seen renderings and glamour shots. I don't know any customers who've actually gotten products from them. Also, if you look at Reddit, there are some theories that these people have bought cheap Chinese items and then are reselling them at higher prices, saying they're for the PS5 and that they're making them themselves, things of that nature. And so I could be completely wrong. They may be a fine organization and actually working on the vinyls now, and they may be great products and they may look great. I personally don't know. But for me, just with all the mystery shrouded around them, not seeing a product, not knowing anyone who has a product, I really don't want to spend any money hoping that they look good, hoping that they fit, hoping that I'll even get them for Christmas. So I know that they're the only ones that are offering these type of customizable panel stickers or anything like that, but For me personally, I would rather wait the month, 3 months, whatever it may be. You know that third party vendors are going to start making panels or making stickers. You know Sony is going to. It's just a matter of time. So I would rather wait for a brand and a company that I trust more, that I can actually see a product and then purchase that, even if it's after Christmas, rather than roll the dice with this company and hope that things work out. So for me personally, this is a hard pass, dog. I know that it's been rough, but it's gonna get better, I promise. Because right now we're gonna talk about the HD camera. So this comes in at $60, and when I purchased mine, I actually incorrectly assumed that it would be compatible with my PSVR. Well, it's not, but the camera does very well for a select crowd. The integration into the PS5 is seamless, easy, and makes streaming so much easier. So I personally am a total amateur streamer. I'm not trying to do anything fancy. I'm not one of those people who are trying to make an elaborate setup and every sub there's something flying across the screen. I'm not begging for money, so I don't need any type of bitmojis or any of that fancy stuff. That's not me. And so all I really wanted is to have my little face cam somewhere on the gameplay. That way you could see me while I stream. And for that, this camera is perfect. So it allows you to take that recording of you and put it on either of the four corners. You can adjust the shape that your recording is in, and then you can also change the size of it. So it's very simple, but it works perfectly. And for me, before I had this camera, I was using Streamlabs, which granted I am using a laptop. I don't have a desktop, so that may be part of the issue. But oh, I hate Streamlabs. It is horrible. It is a garbage program. It was just awful to use. And so the fact that I don't need Streamlabs at all anymore, and not only do my streams look better, they actually can be uploaded more smoothly. It just enhances the entire streaming process for an amateur streamer like myself. And so just being able to delete Streamlabs and not mess with that ever again, it's well worth the $60. Now, here's the downside to it. If you aren't streaming, if you're not an amateur streamer, you're not looking to maybe make your streaming a little more streamlined, see what I did there? Then I really don't know why you'd get the HD camera. So maybe it's gonna work with the PSVR 2, but that is complete speculation. I have no reason to believe that's the case. But I wouldn't buy it hoping for that. And then there aren't any games that use it to this point. So if you aren't streaming, there really is no reason to buy it. So that does limit the crowd that would want this. So if you're a streamer, I say definitely get it because it's incredible. If you're not, this is another steer clear. But don't worry, there will be accessories that you'll want to buy and starting next. The media remote may not be for everybody, but it is insanely handy if you plan on streaming Hulu, Netflix, or Disney Plus on your PS5 very often. So this comes in at $30 and has integrated buttons that make streaming and watching movies really easy. So unless you do those things often though, it probably isn't going to be worth it. So really the only thing that I could say that maybe it's not worth it is because you do in fact have a $70 controller in the DualSense that can do the exact same thing just with a few extra button presses. However, if you are streaming things often, the media remote is perfect and it is conveniently sized to shove in that stocking or hide there deep under the tree. So keep that in mind if you have a streaming or just movie watching enthusiast. This is the perfect accessory for your PS5. Now let's talk about the charging station for the DualSense controller. So this puppy is $30 and it's the one item that we're starting to see some third-party options for. Some of those options have fans, others have the controller so that they can charge upside down. If you want to look at those, Walmart, Best Buy, or Newegg.com. But honestly, for $30, I say just buy the Sony ones. It holds two controllers, it works perfectly well, and the design goes perfectly with the console. In fact, that actually brings me to my next point, is a fair warning. So between the console, the controller, and the charging station, that is a good looking setup. And if you're expecting on Christmas night to get some snuggle bunny bum bums, Well, I hate to break it to you, your significant other is going to be looking at the sexiest thing in that room. And again, I just don't think it's going to be you. It's going to be the setup. Just a fair warning. But that finally brings me to my final accessory that I definitely recommend, and I tried not to be obvious, but there's just no way about it. It is the DualSense Controller. I know what you're saying. You're saying, Adam, $70 is so much for a controller. Adam, I already have a controller. Listen, from the games we have seen thus far, the new features will be worth it. The vibrations come from different parts of the controllers. The adaptive triggers tighten when you're like pulling a bow. The touchpad works really well and is smooth. The haptic feedback is great. And okay, granted, we have only seen a few games that have used this. Of course, all the launch titles are going to use it in some capacity because they want to push the new technology. But the thing is, in general, the controller works really well. It has great battery life. And to be honest, if you want to play any local multiplayer game, you're going to have another controller. So you should just go ahead and buy one. And heck, one day I was gaming, the controller that I was using, battery went low. I needed to replace it. I just moseyed on over to my little charging station, pulled up the controller, pushed the PlayStation button twice, seamless transition, continued gaming with the new controller with borderline no resistance. This controller is borderline perfect. I absolutely love it. If you know someone or you have a PS5 and you only have one controller, you gotta do it. You just gotta bite the bullet, pay the $70, and get that second controller. It will be worth it. You never know when a buddy is going to want to play some Sackboy. And actually, let me hit you with one more. Because if Santa has a huge sack and he has a bunch of room in that sack, he can get you a TV too. And here's the thing, with the TVs, you want 120 hertz refresh rate, you want high dynamic range, and then you want HDMI 2.1 compatibility. I'm going to post a video, the link in the description of this video. I talk about what options you have and what you need to look for in a TV. I'm not going to reiterate all that stuff. But the one thing is the Sony X900H that I mentioned in my video previously, it now truly has HDMI 2.1 compatibility. So that is definitely an option. But that is gonna, regardless of what TV you get, that is gonna cost you a cool grand at least. So, forewarned, if you get a PS5, which is friggin' huge, and then a TV, which is also huge, Santa is not gonna have any more room in his sack. He's not going to have any more room on his sleigh. That is all you're getting, buddy. That is all you're getting. And so, Merry Christmas. But I hope it happens for you. I hope it happens for you. Alright, so I quickly want to cover some honorable mentions of smaller stocking stuffers that you can put there for the PS5 lovers in your life. A USB-C cable. So that will connect the PS5 to the controller. Honestly, if you have a charging station, the only time you're going to need that is when you first set up your system. And Sony does give you one in the system and with the controller. It's a little short, but again, if you have a charging station, you're not going to need this. 2 HDMI 2.1 cable. So know that the PlayStation 5 does come with the HDMI 2.1 cable. Now I gotta be honest, I haven't run numbers or tests or actually tested it. They say it's 2.1. I'm gonna assume that they're correct until I'm told otherwise. I personally almost bought an HDMI 2.1 cable before it came out because I didn't know that. So if you're thinking about it, unless you're just really suspicious of Sony, save your money, do not buy that new cable. And finally, an Ethernet cable. So whoever's playing, if they like streaming or if they play a lot of games online and maybe your wireless internet is a little sketchy, you can just plug that puppy up in Ethernet and it does perfectly, and you can find that almost anywhere nowadays. So I want to thank you for watching. I hope you enjoy your PS5, and Merry Christmas. Ho, ho, ho! That time I am talking about Alex's auntie. Hey, come back here.